Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat. It feels like absolutely ages since I have done one of these live pop-up chats, so I'm really glad to be back doing it now. I thought that this would be the best way to actually tell you about the full itinerary of Charles and Camilla, the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall, because today has been announced that they are undertaking that Caribbean tour, which has been talked about as speculation, but it has been confirmed today. And of course, as speculated, Cuba does actually feature on this historic tour. Now, it is historic because a member of the royal family hasn't been before. So it is very historic, since obviously all what went on historically. So, a very diplomatically important mission. The whole Caribbean tour and indeed the Cuba visit is at the request of the British government, and it is of course to improve bilateral relations between the UK and Cuba, and of course the rest of the countries on the Caribbean tour too, which we will get to in a moment. I have the full statement on my laptop, so I will be reading it. Everything that I will be saying is official, true and accurate, so you can't get much better than that, can you? So, it was announced on the 15th of February 2019 that the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall will visit St Lucia, Barbados, St Vincent and the Grenadines, St Kitts and Nevis, Grenada, Cuba and the Cayman Islands. Wow. Lucky Charles and lucky Camilla. That seems like an absolutely amazing tour schedule, I think. I would look forward to that, I think. Although we know that royal tours are very heavily packed. And by the way, I haven't actually read this yet, so I will be reacting to this the same time that you are, which I thought was quite fun. So the tour begins on the 17th of March and finishes on the 29th of March. Now this is quite pragmatic because it's around Brexit Day, or rather the date that the UK officially leaves the European Union. So I think that they have arranged the fly back to the UK. I think these dates are arranged around it to probably prevent the occurrence of Charles and Camilla leaving the UK as a European country and entering it as a non-European country. There may be problems around travel, I don't know. So they have avoided that conflict by obviously arriving a day before the Brexit day. So 17th of March until the 29th of March 2019. Their Royal Highnesses visit to St Lucia, Barbados, St Vincent and the Grenadines, St Kitts and Nevis and Grenada will celebrate the monarchy's relationship with these Commonwealth realms. Furthermore, at the request of the British government, their Royal Highnesses will also visit Cuba to highlight the growing bilateral relations with the UK and showcase some of the cultural links between the two countries. Their Royal Highnesses will also visit the British Overseas Territory of the Cayman Islands to celebrate its place within the British family. Their Royal Highnesses will visit 6 countries and 1 overseas territory, undertaking over 50 engagements across 10 islands. Oh my goodness, 50. This will be the first official visit by a member of the royal family to Cuba. So there we go. This is all official. If you have just joined me, I am reading an official release from Clarence House. The tour will begin in St Lucia on the 17th of March, where the Prince of Wales will be guest of honour at an event to mark the country's 40th anniversary of independence. I didn't know that. Following a welcome to the island by the Governor-General and the Prime Minister, the Prince of Wales will later attend a reception for guests from across the island. Okay, so that seems like a really nice start. On Tuesday the 19th, their Royal Highnesses will undertake a number of engagements in Barbados, including a parade and a wreath laying at the cenotaph in Bridgetown. His Royal Highness will then have the chance to visit the oldest synagogue in the Western Hemisphere, which was recently restored with the help of the Barbados National Trust. The Prince will attend a demonstration on the island's hurricane preparedness I'm squinting at that word, on hurricane preparedness mechanisms and meet teams involved in responding to recent natural disasters across the region. His Royal Highness will also learn more about the work that the Prince's Trust International has been doing locally. Okay, so that part seems very much focused on the Prince of Wales's interests in the natural world and the built environment, and the effects that they have and natural disasters. So I think definitely tailored to his tastes. The Duchess, who is president of the Women of the World Festival, will also attend an event for Barbadian women of influence. The Women of the World Festival, otherwise known as WOW, is a global festival movement to celebrate and encourage women and girls to overcome inequality. Her Royal Highness will also join a Commonwealth Big Lunch and visit a diabetes clinic before joining His Royal Highness for a meeting and reception at the Prime Minister's residence. Okay, so on that day, Charles and Camilla, it seems, are splitting, which is basically to cover more ground. I mean, I think, we see this with royals, every royal couple, if they are on a joint engagement, a lot of the time they split and they do different events to cover their different interests, maybe their different charities, and it covers more ground. It gets more ground covered out of a singular engagement day. So I think that is really, really good. And it covers both of their interests. So their Royal Highnesses will visit St Vincent and the Grenadines on the 20th of March, where key themes in the programme will include youth opportunity and female empowerment, as well as the preservation of the island's natural environment. Her Royal Highness will visit the St Vincent and Grenadines Community College and St Vincent Girls High School, where pupils have been busy creating their entries for the Queen's Commonwealth Essay Competition. Again, literacy, one of Camilla's main focuses, so definitely playing to her strengths as well as Prince Charles's natural environment. So there we go. On Thursday the 21st of March, the Prince and the Duchess will visit both parts of the dual island nation of St Kitts and Nevis and will undertake a programme that will demonstrate the country's commitment to heritage restoration, the environment and local culture. The Prince of Wales will also have the chance to return to the Brimstone Hill Fortress, a UNESCO World Heritage Site that he visited in 1973, so retracing a little bit of old ground for the Prince. The Prince will learn more about the history of the fortress, the restoration work that has been undertaken there, and attend a showcase of local culture, dance and music. We know Charles and Camilla love their dance and music, especially if it's funny sounds, so we may get some Charles and Camilla laughter, or rather Charles laughter, if there is something amusing. He likes to dance as well, so I'm quite interested in that. Their Royal Highnesses will also attend receptions on both islands for members of the community, featuring local music and culture. So there we go, it seems quite interesting there. The Prince and the Duchess will visit Grenada, or Grenada, not quite sure how you pronounce it. I say Grenada, what do you say? Let me know. If somebody is from Grenada, tell me. On the 23rd of March, where their Royal Highnesses will learn more about local agriculture and the importance and history of cocoa and spice production on the island. The Prince of Wales will attend a meeting on the importance of the blue economy and meet organisations involved in marine protection and conservation. So again, very much on message for the Prince. Their Royal Highnesses will arrive in Cuba, this is the big one, on Sunday the 24th, where after an official welcome they will commence their visit to the country with a wreath laying at the memorial of Cuba's national hero, the essayist and poet Jose Marti. Now, I haven't heard of Jose Marti, so that'll be quite interesting for me to learn. The Prince and the Duchess's visit will highlight cultural and academic connections, links between the people of the UK and Cuba, and explore key themes such as the arts, youth entrepreneurship, heritage restoration and sustainable agriculture. On Monday the 25th of March, their Royal Highnesses will undertake a varied programme in Havana, including a joint visit to a community and arts centre. His Royal Highness will also be able to meet some of Cuba's young entrepreneurs at an event in central Havana. That evening, the President of Cuba will officially welcome their Royal Highnesses before hosting an official dinner. On their second day of engagements in Havana, their Royal Highnesses will have the chance to meet a group of owners of British classic cars, because as we know, Cuba has loads of older cars, and pay a visit to a Cuban music recording studio. Interesting. Their Royal Highnesses will also visit one of the country's leading dance studios, and the Prince of Wales will travel out of Havana to learn more about the renewable energy and organic farming in Cuba. Their Royal Highnesses will later attend a reception hosted by the British Ambassador. Okay. Again, the natural environment seems like a real key theme on this Caribbean tour. Their Royal Highnesses' visit to Cuba will end on Wednesday the 27th of March. The Prince will visit Cuba's south coast to learn more about the country's flora and fauna. His Royal Highness will also attend a roundtable discussion on environmental conservation, whilst Her Royal Highness will visit an equestrian centre, very much up Camilla Street, helping students from primary school level through to the country's national team. Her Royal Highness will also attend a roundtable to discuss the work being done to help those affected by domestic violence. The Prince and the Duchess will arrive in the Cayman Islands later that day, officially opening the new airport upon arrival. Their Royal Highnesses will attend a meeting with the Premier and Governor. His Royal Highness will be visiting all 3 of the Cayman Islands and will meet members of the local communities from each island and attend a series of engagements focusing on sustainability and marine conservation. The Duchess will visit a crisis centre for young people and their families who have been affected by domestic abuse, as well as a new hospice providing end-of-life palliative care for those in need. Her Royal Highness will also attend a cultural performance at a local primary school. Okay, so very important and quite hard-hitting stuff there. The Prince of Wales will have the chance to meet hurricane relief personnel based on the islands. Their Royal Highness's visit will end with a reception and celebration showcasing local music and culture. And there are some notes as well. So the Prince of Wales has visited 45 out of the 53 Commonwealth nations. The Duchess has visited 21 Commonwealth nations with the Prince of Wales. This will be the Duchess of Cornwall's first visit to St Vincent and the Grenadines, St Christopher and Nevis, Grenada and the Cayman Islands. This is the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall's first visit to Cuba. And there we have it, the full tour as we have it now. I mean, I'm sure possibly more information may be released in due course. So let me know in the comment section, either in the live chat if you're live now, or if this video, obviously if you're watching it on catch up and it's not live, please let me know in the comment section what you're most interested in. I'm just trying to find the chat room now. So I can see what you're all saying. I will read some comments. Let me know what you think about the content of the tour. I think it's very interesting. I think it definitely plays into the Prince of Wales and the Duchess of Cornwall's strengths, and it's definitely very much focused on the environment, which I think is a key theme of Prince Charles's work. And of course, the Cuban visit, very historic, does of course help to improve bilateral relations between the UK and indeed Cuba. So let's go up. I'm sorry if I'm reading back on old ground, so let's have a look. James Medford says, he's so used to seeing me in a tiara now. It's just normal. It's always a tiara moment. Hello to everyone who has said hello. Kathy G says, a lot of Cuban exiles, they believe the Cuban government mistreats their citizens. That's one way of looking at it. Rita says, our government officials here in the US need to keep their noses out of others' tours. Robert Gray says, please ease my mind. Is there tension between Charles and Camilla? No. And he hasn't kicked her out of the castle again, if you believe the rumours. I think he kicked her out of the castle about 5 times during the summer. All fake news. Running Late says, President Obama was the first USA president to visit after many years. He was indeed. Okay. I'm just trying to find a really good question. Hang on. Martin Gahan says, I wish Charles and Camilla all the best with their historic Caribbean tour, including Cuba, as I think do we all. Yes, I agree. Cuba is very much 1950s with the cars, certainly with the cars. Lots of 1950s type cars going on, which I think obviously features part of the tour itself. Oh, I think my screen has skipped, hang on. Just going back down. Okay. And Jason Med 4 says the Prince of Wales should visit the remaining 8 countries. I'm sure he will. 53 countries is quite a lot to visit in anyone's lifetime. But I'm sure he will. And of course, as when he becomes king, I imagine he will probably undertake a visit to each of them again, possibly. Wendy says, my goodness, what a busy tour. I can't wait for the pictures and videos. There will be a lot. Kathy G says, is it true Prince Charles takes his own food so not to get sick? I haven't actually heard that myself. I think, if for example, he's at a state occasion, a state banquet, or he's being hosted, I think it would appear rather rude to take your own food. So I can imagine maybe he would take some of his preferred snacks and that kind of thing, but not the whole food. I mean, he wouldn't snub, for example, local cuisine. That would be very undiplomatic. So he may take a few little bits here and there, but I don't think the whole food, no. I certainly haven't heard of him taking the whole food. You are very welcome for the info. Karen says, I think it's good that they are going to Cuba. I do indeed agree. James Med4 says this tour would exhaust an Olympic athlete. I think it would. You've got to have a lot of stamina, I think, to be a royal. WHD Studios says, wishing them good luck in Cuba. The USA was and still is glad that the communist dictated country declared themselves an independent territory from the United States. I am reading all comments. I am non-political. Don't make me political. I am impartial. Mrs. BSN says, I wanted to go to Cuba before the restriction was put back in place by Trump. Rita says, this is an itinerary and a half. They are going to need a holiday after, I think so. It definitely plays into their strengths. I want to be packed in their luggage. I want to be packed in their luggage too. I'm not sure if there's a Cuban community in London. I don't live in London, so I don't know. If there is, someone comment on the video. Ooh, Karen says, Cuba is the home of the rumba. I did know that, actually. Maybe Charles and Camilla will dance it. They like dancing. Maybe we'll see some dancing action. Do the royals need passports? Yes, apart from the Queen. The Queen doesn't need a passport, but everyone else does, because everyone else is technically a citizen. So because the Queen is the head of the nation, she doesn't actually need a passport. In fact, all passports are issued on her behalf. Liz Ross says, I'm donating plants for the Cayman Hospice tomorrow. Wow, that sounds really important. How is Molly? She's fine. She's eating and doing the other thing that I wanted her to do, for those of you who are following. So far, so good. I'm happy. Yes, Harry did get back from the Arctic. Well, Norway, actually. Yes, he did. And as I predicted, it was a day tour. He went early and finished in the afternoon and came back to enjoy a romantic Valentine's Day with Meghan. So Meghan didn't miss out because Harry was working. And in fact, we don't know for sure, but I imagine there would have been a nice meal prepared, ready for Harry. We know Meghan likes to cook. So, I think all was not lost on Valentine's Day. They had enough time together. Yes, he did look very happy soldiering. I think he misses the camaraderie. Okay. Roasted chicken. Yes, well, we know they got engaged over roasted chicken, so yes. There we go. How did I like the shrine? Oh, the Harry and Meghan wedding shrine. I liked it. I thought it was a nice touch. A nice personal touch. No, I don't know what they actually did for the Valentine's Day, but I can imagine, probably like most couples, a romantic evening in, or maybe even out. But we know that Meghan, is a bit of a home bird, and of course she's pregnant, heavily pregnant, so I can't imagine maybe going out. I think a nice, quiet meal prepared by Meghan, a homemade cooked meal, is probably more likely. I mean, okay, we don't know. It is just guesswork, but putting two and two together, I can imagine that, perhaps going out may have been a hassle. So a nice little romantic meal in. Harry, of course, would have been out travelling all day, so may not want to go out in the evening. So I'm thinking, staying at Kensington Palace, having a homemade cooked meal would probably have been the most likely option. Yes, Arnold. I can't wait to see Charles dancing too. Okay, and there we have it. So the purpose of this video, of course, was to share with you the itinerary of the Charles and Camilla Caribbean tour coming up in March, and of course the historic visit to Cuba. So, if you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also hit that notification bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video, or of course do one of these surprise live pop-up chats. Also, please do make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Do it now. It's just a click. Subscribe. So, from me in Shropshire, mwah, to you all, goodbye.